This was recently discussed. I know Bearable Bull did a video on this, talking about XRP being a stable coin, a multi-currency stable coin. And it all comes from this article right here, or sorry, this Twitter post. Nathan Price found this. And he's talking about, if I stop seeing this stuff, I'll think otherwise. Is XRP for retail? BIS, FCA, IMF, XRP hybrid. I just want others to see what could happen or being happening that we might not be paying attention to. Keep your eyes open. And so right here, you can see this is a letter that was written to Miss Caroline Rogers, the Secretary General of the BIS. And then this was written by Ripple to them. And saying here, Ripple welcomes the opportunity to comment on the consultative document on the prudential treatment of crypto asset exposures, the consultation paper published by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision on June 10th, 2021. Now, this gets interesting because we just saw the news that this exact committee actually just approved the prudential treatment of crypto asset exposures. They just signed off on basically allowing these banks to hold up to 2% of their reserves in crypto assets. And that goes into implementation January 1st, 2025. Okay. And then we see here in this little, letter here to the BIS, Ripple quotes here this FCA.org, this document, this link here. And this is the Financial Conduct Authority. Okay. And they're talking about this, and the quote here is limitation as a multi-currency stablecoin. So to facilitate macroeconomic and international monetary stability, stablecoin arrangements should not undermine confidence in and the stability of domestic fiat currencies. In the United States, this may require additional limitations on any stablecoin that is not exchangeable for the underlying fiat currency, one-to-one net of fees, or for which the value is determined by reference to more than one fiat currency, multi-currency stablecoins. And so this is where the conversation comes about. And right here, the FCA is a financial regulatory body in the United Kingdom, but operates independently of the UK government. Okay, so this is just one, like I said, in Citizen of the Future, showing us the mind map and the connections in these governing bodies that regulate payments and so much more. But they're starting to refer to XRP as a stable coin. And I watched some of Bearable Bull's video where he talked about this. And this is actually a theory that we've been talking about on our channel within our community as well, about XRP needing to be a high-priced stable coin to provide the liquidity value needed for some of these networks, these wholesale payments on the back end of the financial system. And so I just thought that I wanted to give my thoughts on this. I do think that there is a potential for XRP to be a stable coin. And when we call it a stable coin, for me, it's in the sense of how quickly, how little risk you have in your transaction because of how quickly it settles. Now, you may not want to hold XRP on your balance sheet as a reserve right now when obviously the price is varying from day to day, minute to minute, quite often. But when you go to send a transaction on the network, obviously you can be in and out of XRP in seconds and your value is transferred within 4 seconds. And so relative to the existing financial system and the payments infrastructure that we have to go through today, it is stable because you only have exposure for 4 cents compared to days. When you send an international money transfer and it's going to take 4 to 5 business days, you have all sorts of currency risk and third-party risk in that transaction as well. And then we talked about this with Citizen of the Future. He said that there's $9 trillion in heirs. And I think the current reports that we get is about 6% of all SWIFT transactions fail or are heirs. And so you think about that, SWIFT, the existing payments network, 6% failure is acceptable. I mean, that's crazy, right? And then when you put a dollar value on it, it's $9 trillion in heirs per year. That's truly incredible. And then, that's just 9 trillion there before you get to the $30 trillion of Nostro Vostro accounts, pre-fund accounts that get eliminated when you start to use XRP on-demand liquidity. But I do believe, for me, that XRP is going to be stabilized at a much higher price. Whether that price is going to be $50 or $50,000, there's a whole different range right there in between, right? But we know that XRP is not going to be a 50-cent stable coin because it would not provide enough liquidity value for these networks, for these problems that are trying to be solved. But then now seeing the cryptocurrency, basically the XRP community, starting to understand that XRP kind of is meant to be a stable coin. Now, does that mean that it's going to stay at $100 and it's never going to grow? No, it will grow because of that deflationary nature, the way that XRP gets burned. And also, you have to think about how much XRP is locked up and not available. You know, when you do your calculations trying to figure out how high XRP goes, and I hope that you're doing a different calculation from market cap calculation, because I'm going to do a whole separate conversation where I, go more in depth on market cap versus liquidity value. You're going to need to do a different calculation, a different equation to come up with liquidity value versus market cap, which does not apply to the infrastructure networks like, settling Swift's transactions, settling the clearinghouse's transactions, ACI worldwide. We're talking $20 trillion daily that's getting settled up just within a few of these networks, a couple of these clearinghouses, right? So we have a long ways to go, and what's needed for that is a higher price because we only have so many of the tokens. So you can play with the numbers yourself, but when we look at the liquidity value, it's only going to be brought about by a higher price because we only have 5 billion, 10 billion XRP to settle these networks. Obviously Ripple's setting on 50 billion XRP, give or take, and that's going to be unlocked, and Ripple can decide what they want to do with that. But at the end of the day, there is a limitation on the supply that we're going to have, which means we're going to need a higher price. And we know that they want stability as well for them to hold it on their balance sheet. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.